Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today we're taking a quick and dirty look at the missile changes coming in 3.11. We've had an Inside Star Citizen that showed off the new GP33 grenade launcher, environment and location updates, the externals of cargo facilities and the ship to station docking feature. Before we take a look at the summary of Inside Star Citizen, I wanted to have a look at the dev response about missile changes coming in 3.11. They are putting some basic bodge fixes for missile gameplay in that patch. Cloud Imperium's Yogi Clat said, included in the fixes are things like working chaff, better countermeasure controls, which we mentioned a couple of times already, and a couple of other tweaks to suppress missile spam. We actually had the fixes almost ready for 3.10, but since the testing requirements were too high, we had to postpone them to 3.11. So that's really good to hear. We'd obviously needed missiles to have some form of fixes to be able to have any form of competitive PvP or anything that was beyond missile spam. I suppose not everyone used missile spam, but it was so useful and easy to do that people were just, missiles everywhere. Pew, pew, pew! The future missile operator mode and missile overhaul coming in 2021 should more significantly improve and balance missile use though. So let's take a look at Inside Star Citizen. Ship to station docking has seen work. They've been testing potential station docking collars for large and capital ships. They showed the concept of a 65 meter or so extendable collar coming from a station connecting to a javelin with a few different variants of that, which they've also tested now in Engine with multiple docks and capital ships attached to them. They want to make these connections feel secure, but I think that if they do go down this route, a lot of docking automation will have to be done, because you're going to have these docking collars connect to very specific parts of ships very precisely, and some form of sort of like auto docking and maneuver at the end sort of makes sense for that, because otherwise you're going to have these docks just missing the ship by a good few meters, things like that. They're trying to make the look and feel of these docking collars quite cinematic, sort of like multiple sort of processes to them. They're looking very cool, but I'm sort of wondering how viable they're going to be to put in game. They've been building out the cargo deck exteriors for the new cargo facilities feature. There are multiple variations of these exteriors that they've been working on. They look to have huge compartments of cargo containers. They are currently working out different sized cargo containers and different types that players will obviously be able to use on their ships in the future, and these large containers were mentioned at being attached to the Hull series of spacecraft. So please, CIG, make my Hull C. And we do know that they'd recently been working on the last of the prerequisites for having the Hull C in game, so hopefully we'll see that in the not too distant future. Alpha 3.11 introduces the GP33 grenade launcher, which is currently pretty unique. It's going to be extremely effective in corridors, inside ships or structures, and with a rail-trained hand will be quite useful in wide open spaces as well. They've tried to come up with a good balance for the weapon, using current grenades as a reference, so the weapon isn't really too weak or too overpowered. It sounds like it has a smaller critical damage radius than a normal grenade, but out of that small lethal AoE, you're going to take a small amount of damage and still be affected by the stumble and stun of that grenade. They've been testing the grenade launcher internally and with theatres of war, so it's sort of like got a good level of balance now. The GP33 is fully functional, and they're just putting the final touches for its completion in game now. Lighting updates. So if you've shone your flashlight on some smoke in Star Citizen, you'll know how bright that smoke can become and blinding, and that isn't really intended. So they've been working on an update for the current particle lighting model towards a more physically based rendering one. This will ensure that particles hit by the light source, or a light source, won't be brighter than the light source itself. It's also better looking and less work to use. They don't have to dial it in as much. Day-night cycle updates have been making progress. This has different lighting for landing zones based on the time of day. The L19 zone at Lawville has been receiving work, getting its massive security tower searchlights moving around, making it feel nice and oppressive like it's supposed to be. They've been updating ships for the last few months with the new hard surface shaders. This will allow for better wear and tear, but also more skins and customizations, so expect to see more skins in the shops in the not too distant future. The updated organic painting tool is being used now to help build planets and biomes. It has a greater range of variation for its assets and blending. It's also a faster, more efficient tool set as well. They mentioned it was important for finishing off the moons of Pyro. I thought it was odd because they didn't say moons and planets. We do know that Cloud Imperium have been building out many of the planets in Pyro as well as its moons and assets for the system. We don't have a hard date on when Pyro is going to be in game. They haven't ruled it out for 2020, so I'm hoping that we get some Pyro in by the end of the year, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's it for Inside Star Citizen this week. We are marching towards Alpha 3.11, hopefully by the end of this month of September. But what do you think? Are you excited for the GP33 grenade launcher? Will you be using that as part of your loadout, or are you scared of blowing yourself up? Did you like the look of docking collars? Do you think we'll see Alpha 3.11 by the end of this month? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What am I shilling for today, I hear you ask? Do you hate it when people steal all of your money and your house over the internet? I know I do. NordVPN may have been invented by wizards to help protect your personal data from the prying eyes of the dark web, a sinister cabal of technomancers that grow in power the more they know about your browsing habits. The true story of NordVPN's origins are unknown and lost to the ages, and without using facts, no one really knows how it provides more accessibility to otherwise censored websites or a safer security experience for all that use it. All I know is that it does, and that when you sign up to it, the power level of my bank account grows, and I use it, and maybe you should too. Every month we have a giveaway for a Star Citizen ship. For this month of September, it's for the Talon Light Fighter, the Battlebird Glass Cannon. Just comment on any of my videos made during September 2020 to be in for a chance of winning that. That ship should be flyable by the end of the year. If you'd like to further support the channel, there is Patreon or YouTube channel memberships via the join button down below. That will net you some exclusive content each month, but sharing videos, liking, subscribing, dinging the bell, as well as commenting and giving feedback really does help the channel to grow and give me an idea of what you guys want. Thanks very much for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.